Hey everyone, you'll have to excuse the messy hair because, well, it's flooding right now and it's been a heck of a morning. But besides that, I'm home and I thought this was the perfect opportunity while I had a break to read this awesome letter I got from a middle school science class. And here we go. Howdy from Texas. Enclosed you will find letters from my 7th grade science class. We are currently studying genetics and we used your video about a dairy cow's weight to understand the difference between genetically different organisms of the same species. I think a lot of them had fun. It's pretty cool. I'm helping teach a 7th grade science class about genetics. Um, our Our area is primarily agricultural and petroleum based. Many of our students are in 4-H and their parents are employed in the oil and gas industry, so they understood much of your video. Their teacher, on the other hand, grew up as a city boy and doesn't know the difference between cows other than cheeseburgers are tasty. Yes, they are. You have become so popular among the students that they gave you the nickname Cowman. Sincerely, I'm not going to say the teacher's name. I'm not going to say what school either because there's some not very nice people out there and I'm just not going to give them that information. But I thought I'd read a few of the letters. As you can see, there's a lot of them. So I'll read a few today. Maybe I'll do a few more another time, but I'm just going straight off the top of the stack. Hello, Cowman, in parentheses. Your cows were really pretty. I really like them and your video taught me more about them. But I do have more questions because I was confused a little bit. So do the cows get skinnier while they're milking and then you feed them a little more till they start milking again? I did learn that milking does take a lot out of your cows because that's where most of their energy goes. That's very true. And that selective breeding is where you pick 2 cows to have a calf. A cow in a bowl. But anyway, they could have a really good calf whether milking or beef. Hi, you gonna come help? Come here.
I'm watching cats.
Okay, go watch cats. You can turn the volume up a little bit. The boss just told me I have to stop talking, but I'm going to answer this question. Her main question was, do the cows get skinnier while they're milking? And then I feed them more and they start milking again. So when a cow calves in, she goes into a negative energy balance or ketosis because she's producing so much milk that she literally cannot eat enough to get enough energy intake into her body. And so that's why when you have a cow in, you want them to have a little extra weight on them because they are going to milk it off. They are going to convert that fat into energy. That's the first couple months, realistically, that you can't feed them enough. And that's why they get skinny or really skinny, according to some people. And then at 2 months, around 60 days, you start trying to breed them back. And once they're bred back, their milk production starts to come off naturally and starts to lower. And that's when they are able to start putting weight back on themselves. So that first 60 days is really critical to make sure that you were getting as much energy as possible into the cows. So they never stop milking, but if you're not getting enough food into them, they will stop milking. So that's why it's a balancing act. And that's what it means that they get skinny, because the cows are literally putting all their energy and then some into making milk. And so you have to balance their diet very, very well. I'm going to read one more, and then I'm going to let my daughter get back to watching her show. Hello, Mr. Cowman. Your cows are really cool. Thanks, I think so too. I had no idea that beef cows were fatter than dairy cows. Technically, they're not fatter, they're stronger because it's muscle. It's not fat that makes a beef cow look so much bigger. It would be like a, I've used the greyhound and bulldog comparison. How about in humans? I use the comparison of a long distance runner, very lean, designed to go a long time, and a bodybuilder who is just there to lift weights. Same species, humans, vastly different body type. So it's not actually fat, it's more muscle. Now, if you want to get into marbling on between dairy and beef, it's a totally different thing. I had no idea. Anyway, you've heard that. Just wondering, what exactly do cows eat other than grass? Well, I actually have a video about that. But depending on where you live in the country, cows can eat a wide variety of things. Down in California, cows are going to be eating almond hulls, which is the shell around an almond. It's a great source of energy and food for them. They can eat cottonseed, they can eat canola meal, they can eat a lot of byproducts that are produced when making human food that humans can't consume because they are a ruminant digestive system, which means they are able to digest things that we just can't do, which is why they are so important in the food system, because they make all of agriculture more efficient because they are using the waste products of other foods for humans. For selective breeding, do you have to breed a regular male cow and a female dairy cow? Yeah, there's whole companies that all they do is buy bulls that are high in genomic scores. That's genetic testing that we've found key genetic switches that are good for milk and things of that nature, butter, fat, protein, that tell us that a cow's going to be a good milk cow. And so they buy the bulls, they harvest the semen, and then they sell it back to the farmers. Do we have any beef cows? No, we have beef crosses, which is actually one of your next questions, that we breed some of our dairy cows to beef because we don't need an excess number of cows on the farm, so we breed a lot of them to beef. And so then it's a beef dairy cross. It has got more muscle mass. The calves have more muscle mass than a dairy calf would, and they gain better in a beef operation. And so beef producers are willing to buy those calves and raise them for beef. And do beef cattle have the same diet as dairy cattle? No. With beef cows, you're not trying to balance for a major energy suck like producing milk, so you have a different diet. I don't know a lot about beef diets, but I imagine they are specifically designed to build muscle mass, which is totally different than making milk. Do your cows ever stop producing milk? Yes, they do. And I've actually done a video on this too. When a cow is done producing milk, we send them to the sale yard, and they go to beef, and that's the hamburger you're getting in a lot of your stores is actually dairy, because you want a leaner animal to produce hamburger. And a lot of your beef cows are going into your thick, juicy, delicious steaks, roasts, things of that nature. And you've never seen a cow moo on my farm. Well, they do, but cows only moo for certain things. If they're calm, they're not stressed out, they're just having a normal day, they're not gonna be mooing a lot. So they do moo though. So that's a couple of them. As you can see, there's a lot of them, and they all have great questions like that. So I'm thinking maybe I'm gonna make this a monthly thing where I read a couple more every month. Anyway, hope everybody has a great day. a great week, and a Merry Christmas. "11 minutes.